Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. This is my preview for the boxing this weekend. There's actually three boxing cards this weekend. Um, Obviously BT Sport are showing two, and one's on Sky Sports pay per view. But we'll start off with the big main card, which is obviously the pay per view card, and from Sky, headlined by Alexander Povetkin and Dillian Whyte for the WBC Interim World Championship. Um, we know in the first fight, obviously Dillian Whyte was winning the fight, winning it. Basically, I had him winning every round until the knockout. Really, the knockout come out of nowhere in a way, and it was a massive shock. But obviously Alexander Povetkin is a Whyte veteran, and he just hung on and hung on, managed to obviously got that punch and won him the fight, and he gets more money out of this rematch, and obviously goes on now. Me personally, I think Dillian White will win this rematch. I think it's a dangerous fight, but me personally, I think that um, um, White will win the rematch and win by knockout, in my opinion. But also on that card, you've got Fabio Wardley in a massive step up against Eric Molina. Obviously, Fabio Wardley was last seen when he beat Richard Lottie, who's also been in there with Gorman, Nathan Gorman, and Daniel Dubois. So yeah, it's a massive step before Fabio Wardley against a tough, wily opponent, wily veteran Eric Molina. It's going to be a good fight, I think. And then also on this undercard is um, Chris Congo versus Michael Mickelson, two unbeaten fighters. Congo 12-0, Mickelson 19-0. Obviously, somebody's always got to go, as the old cliche goes. Should be a really good fight. It could steal the show, that fight. Yeah, so should be a really good fight. And I think the winner progresses on to the next level, and maybe to European level. Because it's for the WBO global title. So obviously that gives you quite a decent ranking in the WBO, and obviously looking forward for like European titles. I think. Also on that card you've got Ted Cheeseman coming um next fight. Obviously Ted Cheeseman versus JJ versus Metcalf. Metcalf's unbeaten coming into this fight, so he's a dangerous opponent. Cheeseman coming off that absolute war with Sam Eggington. So yeah, that should be a really good fight, and that is for the British Championship. So it should, for the obviously any fight for the Lone Longdale belt is important, but I think in his career, I think obviously Metcalf doesn't want to lose his all, and for Cheeseman he really needs to win this fight to progress his career, to go on if he has aspirations to become a world champion or even go on to European level. So yeah, I think that's going to be a good fight as well. Obviously Cheeseman Metcalf. Um, Also on that card we've got Campbell Hatton, um, which is Ricky Hatton's son, in his pro debut. Um, it's funny because I seen a picture of Campbell Hatton um, yesterday, I think, or the other day, and he looks very much like his dad, and his stature and everything like that. And all I will say about Campbell Hatton is you don't want to put too much pressure on the young lad, but if he fights as like his old man does, he'd be in very exciting fights. So yeah, that's the Sky card. That's the card from Matchroom. Um, I think it's a solid card. Oh, one fight that I've just remembered. Sorry, I forgot, but obviously is on the card as well. Eric Pfeiffer versus Nick Webb. So Eric Pfeiffer's 7-0 unbeaten. There was basically was an agreement in place at one stage when Eric Pfeiffer was going to fight Daniel Dubois, but obviously it didn't happen. So it's going to be interesting to see Eric Pfeiffer fight on these shows and what he can bring. And on Nick Webb's side, it's going to be interesting to see um, what's left really and what's his aspirations really, because he's had a few defeats. Obviously, that one shock defeat he had against Dave Allen, where Dave Allen knocked him out. So yeah, he's trying to get back on track. Should be an interesting fight that. And then obviously we just mentioned the other cards. Obviously the Friday night cards headlined by Zach Parker defending his WBO International Championship. Zach Parker is the number one rank. Is ranked number one in the WBO, so he's really pushing for. He's in a mandatory spot, so I think might be fighting for a world title in the next 2-3 fights, but he's got to keep on winning, unbeaten as well. So it's another defense of his title. So yeah, it should be a good fight. I expect Zach Parker to get the job done. I think, and then on that card, you've got David Adelaide fighting again, unbeaten young heavyweight, looks good but raw. And Mike and Dennis McCann is also on that undercard. The was a different type of performance by Dennis McCann last time out. Didn't obviously knock the guy out. It was had to be patient, and he won on points. So he showed that he's got that to his game, and he's not just a knockout artist. So that them three fights are going to be good, and then on Saturday night as well on Frank Warren card, the the main event is Willie Hutchison versus Clark for the British and Commonwealth titles. There's been a bit of heated back and forth with the two fighters in the build up to the fight. A few verbal insults traded, so it could be a bit of a war on Saturday for that fight. And then also on that undercard, Nathan Gorman returns against Sauer in a comeback fight. So that'd be interesting to see Nathan Gorman back and see if he's made any changes to the wee boxes. Because I think this is the first time he's fought since obviously the defeat against Daniel Dubois. Actually, I've just remembered. No, it's not. It's his second fight back since then. But obviously, um, he looked. He was quite out. He was quite overweight or over the normal weight he normally fights at in his last fight. So it'll be interesting to see Nathan Gorman slim down and a slimmer version of him and see what he can do with this opponent. Um, but yeah, it's an exciting couple of nights of boxing. Um, yeah, two some great fights there. Um, yeah, some great fights there. It's gonna be a good 2 nights of boxing, and who my predictions are obviously I expect Whyte to win by knockout. I expect Fabio Wardley to get the job done. Um, I think Cheeseman will beat Metcalf. Um, I think I think Congo beats Mickinson. McKidson, and I think Pfeiffer beats Webb. Uh, so yeah, that's my predictions on that card. But yeah, and then I think Willie Hutchison will win that fight and become the British and Commonwealth champion. I think he's just that guy's so talented that he's one of those talents a little bit like an Anthony Joshua, that there's talent there and he's got unlimited potential. A little bit like Lee McGregor. Um, yeah, so it's gonna be a good night of boxing. Yeah, so please like and subscribe the video, and get your predictions for the fights in the comments below. And I'll see you again in the next one. Thank you.